Rocket boys! It's Sunday. It's Sunday. We are Patani. We are Patani. Rugby. The whistle blows. When the whistle blows. You know it's white.
Kia ora, brother.
Hey, bro. How's it going?
Yeah, good, man. How's things?
Yeah, not too bad. Still on half a lockdown. I think most of France came off lockdown on Monday, but there's still a lot of restrictions. So keeping it safe and still hanging around home.
Yeah, for sure. Bro, I was speaking of Liam last week, and he said that he was looking forward to kind of lockdown, kind of going back to normal. And I guess you've got a few kids there with you. You've managed to keep everyone busy and things during lockdown?
Yep. I've implemented what my parents did to me when I was younger, getting them to do all the fit hours, and so I think my kids are pretty keen to go back to school. But we're heading into summer here, so the weather's starting to get a lot warmer. So the kids are enjoying being outside and getting in the pool, which is a good thing. So
your teaching skills were on point then?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, I give a lot of respect to the teachers, man, because having to teach 30 kids or so a class, I've only got 2 and I struggle. Patience gets a test every day, but no, it's been a good process to be able to be involved with kids teaching and learning, and which is good. Learn a few things myself.
Nice. Shout out to all the parents holding it down for school, and also to the teachers out there as well, who do it long term. Bro, we'll get into it into our intro, and got heaps of questions come through for you if that's okay, bro. But our sponsor today is Peak Electrical. Glenn and the team there, thank you for supporting the club. I love your support. For everyone that's joining us today on Instagram Live and maybe later on Spotify, we've got Jerome Kaino on with us tonight, or morning over there. Papakuta High and St. Kinnigan's College. Auckland University, was it your club team?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like
yeah. Auckland for Mitre 10 Cup, obviously Auckland Blues. Played a bit of Toyota Blitz. Currently at Toulouse. New Zealand Colts, including Player of the Year 2004, Junior All Blacks, a bit of Barbarians, and of course the mighty All Blacks, mate. Welcome to the Patani Pod, brother.
Thanks for having me, brother.
All good, all good. Bro, listening to your chat with DC a few days ago. Sorry, Dan Carter. I don't know. I was just calling him DC. And your French seems all right at the moment.
Oh no, it's I know like the greetings and a few slang words with the boys. I understand a lot of rugby French, which is enough. But if someone were to come to me and start a conversation, I'd probably struggle, because when you live over here, you notice the different accents that people have and the different speeds that they talk in. Sometimes some of them talk way too fast, and you don't have a clue what they're talking about. But you kind of get a few words here and there which point you in the right direction of what they're talking about. But no, my French isn't where it should be.
Yeah, I was going to welcome you in French, but I don't want to butcher it and bots it. But, bro, Liam said he loved the food, man. He's loving the food over there and stuff. Is that the same for you as well?
Yeah, man, I love it. There's a lot of variety, and so I love meat. I love barbecues, and we're big at barbecues here, so it's right down my alley. But in saying that, I do miss a lot of things from home. The soul food that you have when you have kormai's on Sunday. But no, it's awesome here. The food, the culture, the lifestyle, it's amazing. So it's been great for me and my family.
So I was going to ask the food you missed the most. So there's the island food, kind of chop suey, okra, and all that.
Sorry, I lost you there for a second.
Sorry, bro. All good. So I was going to say chop suey and all the island food, the food you missed the most from back home.
Yeah, definitely the mum's cooking. Although my wife's pretty good at replicating some of the island feeds over here, because they do sell taro over here, which is
Oh, true.
good. So you can get a lot of the you can kind of make up some of the food that you get back home, but nothing beats the real thing, the luau and the
Oh man,
and the real thing.
yeah, bro, I live here and I miss it. Um, Bro, I just want to start at the beginning somewhat. Like you made age grade teams in kind of the junior All Blacks. When did it kind of cross your mind that, oh, you're like, hang on, I can make a career of this, or was it quite early on, or like not until you made kind of Mitre 10 or Auckland or Blues?
Um, yeah, it wasn't until I made back then it was called Air New Zealand Cup or NPC, and yeah, it wasn't until I got into the NPC team where I started to really believe in myself and start to think that I can make a career out of it.
Mm.
I growing up in the Auckland region, there are a lot of awesome players that didn't really make it. They made it all the way up to the academies, but didn't really push on. And for me, that was always in my mind that never take those positions for granted, even though I made those age grades. Just to always keep pushing, because you're only one opinion away from not making the team, and that could be it. So I just tried to work as hard as possible, and I was lucky enough to keep going and make a career out of it. But yeah, it wasn't until I made the Auckland team and when the belief started to grow.
And when you come through that Colts setup, bro, like when we look back now and see all the huge names that come through it, like Lomu, Spencer, Mertz, and all that, are you ever aware of it at the time that, like, oh man, all these guys that have come before me through this team, like, I'm on the right path there?
For the New Zealand teams or the Colts, New Zealand Colts?
Yeah, New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah, it did cross my mind, but for me, it was just the opportunity to wear the fern, the black jersey. That was for me, that was the biggest shock, to be able to sit there and have the black jersey in front of you, and it's for anyone that has their first silver fern or their first black jersey. It's for them, that's a huge milestone. So yeah, definitely thinking about the past teams and the past players that went through that team, but for me, it was just making sure that I didn't stuff up in the black jersey and make sure I did it justice.
Nice. And bro, in 2004, you kind of make Blues. Auckland for the first time. 2006 Blues. What's it like going into those environments for the very first time, bro? As kind of probably a young kid of the team, and is it just like mind blowing, or you can't believe that you're there, or what's that whole feeling like?
Yeah, it was for the Blues and for Auckland. When I first got into the team, like the likes of Keith Muse, Kevin Mealamu's, the Carlos Spencers. At that time, Ronnie Clark was still in the team. So there were quite a few of us that came through the grades together and made that team together. Like Ben Artinga, John Arfor, Joe Kathoka. So we were all in there together. So it was good for me to have some guys in the same boat, to be able to be starstruck together, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to pinch myself for a couple of seasons there, that I was actually going to work and going to play every day with these guys and train. So it was an awesome time, and for me, still being around those guys, I still pinch myself, because the other guys I used to watch on TV when I was younger, and there I was training with them.
And did anyone any of the senior boys take you under their wing, look after you, or?
Yeah, when I first got into the Blues, I was lucky. There are a lot of senior guys, which Pacific Island boys like Brad Mika, Kevin Mealamu definitely was one of the senior guys who helped point us in the right direction. Sam Tutupo, those are the guys that had been in the environment for a long time. So I was very lucky that I had guys like that to lean on whenever I had any concerns or I was struggling to learn anything. They helped me a lot, and it's awesome to be able to still be close with them and be good mates with them now.
Yeah. And I read today that you made kind of your first All Black end of year tour before you played Blues. Was that correct? And kind of what's that? What's getting into that environment like? Like your first kit day? That must be pretty mad.
Yeah, that was crazy. You see videos of it nowadays, and
Mm.
back then I'd heard a lot of stories about when the All Blacks get their kit, and that it's like Christmas, and it really is. It's so you walk into a big room and there's all this Adidas gear laid out in the room, and for me it was like Christmas just to be able to be amongst these legends, and also just to be in a room where you get to just go grab a lot of gear. So that definitely for a first time All Black is a huge highlight.
Yeah. And do you consider that Barbarians game your debut, or is it how it works, or is it kind of your first Test match?
No, I consider it as my first game, but not my first Test match.
Yeah.
I talked to my dad a lot about it, and he only considered my first All Black Test as when I played like the real games, like
Yeah.
Tri Nations and the Australians, the South Africans. Although it was a proud moment to pull on the black jersey, I really wanted to work hard to be involved in a All Black Test match where you play Australia and South Africa. So after the Barbarians game, it took a couple of years to do that, but I was happy I got to get that opportunity.
Yeah. And I guess in 2006, when you do make that official All Blacks or Test debut, is it overwhelming, or like how do you control your emotions that you get to put on the jersey for the first time, head out there, do a haka, and do the anthem? Like, is it just like it must be a mad first experience, like when you head out there?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like the first time I was in Hamilton, I came off the bench, so I had a bit of time to process when I was going to get onto the field, and so that kind of went smoothly. But my first ever start was the week after at Eden Park. I'd say that the emotions and the whole occasion that definitely was overwhelming for me. I didn't think I played that well in that game. So, which is a good thing. It was a huge learning for me to be able to hopefully improve if I did ever get another chance. But the good thing now is that younger players have a lot of support in terms of mental preparation and making sure they prepare mentally before they get out there. And you see now that first Test All Blacks go out there and absolutely kill it because the mental side of things have been taken care of.
Yeah, I'd love to chat to someone about that one day because I know there's a big kind of psychology behind it, or maybe like a team psychologist or something that I've heard of. Bro, what were your haka skills like in that first few games?
Not that good. I made sure that I was close to the middle back just to protect myself, just in case I made a mistake. But for me, I practiced in front of the TV many years, but to actually do it with the team on the field, it's a different feeling. So it was a huge buzz, but I wouldn't say my haka skills were ever any good.
Unreal. Bro, and when you come into the All Blacks for the first time, is there a rough understanding, how there's of the responsibility of an All Black, or kind of the standards that you have to adhere to, or do you learn that on the go?
Yeah, you learn it on the go. Obviously, coming into the All Black environment, that it's for you, it's one of the best teams in the world, and making sure that you make everything goes smoothly as possible. But when you go into the team, the leadership group, the coaching staff, they have everything planned out, so they make sure that you're learning every day, and you learn the expectations from day one, what's expected, how to carry yourself. But they don't expect you to be anyone different or to be anyone else. They want you to be the best version of yourself, but just to make sure that you're well aware of it, and making sure that you're making the All Black environment a better environment as you stay in there longer.
Yeah, and I guess a question that kind of relates to that. I spoke with Ezra. I think he's listening in. And he mentioned a story. I think he mentioned a story that one time Kevin. I won't get into the story, but Kev said one time, you're an All Black 24/7. Is that something you still carry with you today? Like on the way you uphold yourself and kind of things like that in other teams that you go on?
Yeah, I try to. I don't think of it consciously. You see it when you go around to different countries, and especially being here in Toulouse, because they view you as an All Black, and especially winning World Cups, so they see you as that person. So I've got to make sure as a player first that I'm playing to that standard, but also the other things around the team environment. Also as a person, they're watching everything that you do to make sure that what they used to see when you're in the All Black environment is what they're getting. So first, as a player, I make sure that I'm playing to the standard that they view me as.
Awesome. Love that insight. So I love talking to some of you guys about what kind of went on behind the scenes, which is kind of where I want to go now. I have to touch on the World Cups, bro, and that first one before the injuries and stuff. I've spoken with Powell about it before, and he said, everyone was kind of normal. But with all those injuries that happened then, what was kind of the feel amongst the team kind of leading into the back end of the comp?
Man, it was crazy. I think it was one captain's run before the Canada game in Wellington. It was there at Rugby League Park. We were just mucking around. I think the forwards were doing lineouts, and then you just saw all the backs walk into the sheds, like no laughter, no nothing, because usually they're the loudest ones. Usually you hear Scucks. Ma'anonu, he would be the loudest as well, but they were all quiet walking in. We didn't have a clue what was happening, and then we went in and we heard that DC had done his groin, just goal kicking. So all the boys were like, "What?" And but Graham Henry just brought the boys in and made sure we were focused on that game, and just whatever happens. That DC will take care of himself, and Richie as well. He brought the boys in and made us focus on what was at hand. And then after DC got injured, then Colin Slade got injured, and then we're on to Aaron Cruden, and then Beaver. But for us, we believed in ourselves, no matter who got injured or who was at number 10. And I think the belief within that the team, being at home as well, helped a lot. Being around our friends and families and our supporters, I think that's what got us through. But we had a lot of belief in that team.
Nice. And did you know Richie was injured at that time with his foot, or was that kept well under kind of covers?
I'd heard about it. I'd never seen him hobbling or anything. I remember one time we were doing a drill, and Brad Thorne must have stood on his foot, just at training doing a drill. But then Richie he wasn't hobbling or anything. He just walked to the side and just did some stretches. But you kind of knew that something was going on, but I never knew the seriousness of it.
Gee, so that's tough, eh?
That's crazy, eh?
Bro, that final whistle goes in 2011, and I just remember Ma'a and Powell running on. But what are those changing rooms like after, bro, and that kind of next, I want to say 12 hours like of celebrations? Was it just real cool and fulfilling for you dudes?
Oh man, it was. I think the first emotion was relief.
Oh,
Um, just because the nature of the game and how well the French played, how close the final was, and so for me, the first feeling was relief, and then after that was just man, just how happy I was for the guys who had to endure being in the team in 2007
mm.
and 2003 as well. So for me, it was just how happy I was to be able to be involved with those guys and see them see them celebrate it. But I was just really really proud and happy for the country, for my family, and to be able to do it at home in front of them.
And even going back to back, bro, like new group, kind of same passion. And I think I read that there's only like maybe 20 to 30 players who have the double ever of all
Crazy.
countries. So that must have been pretty special for that new group and you as maybe more of a senior.
Yeah, it was awesome to do it in England. Because a lot of people, especially from the Northern Hemisphere, were doubting us that we couldn't do it outside of New Zealand,
Mm.
and I think that's one of the pillars that kind of motivated us. That people are saying we can't do it, and outside of New Zealand, so we had to try and work our asses off to try and make sure that it happened, and man, that was an awesome final as well to be able to send off some five legends of the game in our team, um, send them off with that World Cup. It was amazing.
Does it hit a bit more special when, because I think you were the only American Samoan to ever represent the All Blacks, and I'm not really sure if there was more, but that must be pretty special being able to represent kind of well, the Samoa and American Samoa as well.
Yeah, it's a special feeling to be able to represent your heritage. I think Frank Solomon was the first American
Mm,
Samoan All Black before me. So
yeah.
to be able to represent American Samoa and Samoa is it's awesome. Um, I don't know too much about my American Samoan side because
Yeah.
mum and dad lived there for a bit, and then most of my family are in Samoa. But I'd love to go back to American Samoa one day. But yeah, I'm still proud to be able to fly that flag and the Samoan flag as well. So it's something that I hold close to me.
Awesome, bro. Bro, last couple of questions before we get into got some ones from the followers, but I wanted to ask, bro, like, because every time I meet a footy player, especially in All Black, after I get to know them, bro, they're just down to earth, normal guys, like just chatting like we are now. What's it like when people come up to you for like pics and or to talk, and they're all shy and kind of acting all weird? Like, is it weird kind of having that interaction with people, or are you kind of used to that whole buzz now?
Uh, at first, it was really weird, but I enjoy that side of it, especially when kids come up and ask for photos or an autograph. It's something that gives me a lot of enjoyment
Mm,
from rugby or from uh, being a known sportsman. Yeah, but when people come up and they act shy, you try and make them feel as comfortable as possible
yeah.
to make sure that you to to let them know that you're just human. But I think throughout all rugby teams or any every international team or every well-known rugby player that I've known, uh, we're all quite down-to-earth people. I think, especially in New Zealand. So it's crazy for me just recently watching that the Last Dance, the NBA
Yeah.
doco,
Yeah.
and seeing the egos in American sports, I can't see any rugby player or any player that I've known through rugby have that type of or level of ego.
Mm.
It's for us New Zealanders or even Islanders, it's quite a down to earth game, or quite down to earth people compared to what I saw there.
Is MJ the GOAT for you?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is the GOAT though. Growing up
Was he
collecting those
before?
basketball cards and
Yeah.
watching him, and plus my team's the Bulls as well, so from that era. Although the 2000s, it's been a long suffering few years for
Yeah.
the Bulls supporters, but I'm still a Bulls man.
That's right. You got to go to a game too, eh? And you're down on centre court.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't go to
Wow, that
center
looks
court.
mad.
We're up in the nosebleed section, but
Yeah.
we still got to watch a Bulls game, and it was the Cavaliers as well. So LeBron was there playing,
Man.
which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Bro, just quick question on footy in general in France, New Zealand, and Japan. Different styles, or kind of what's the training like? Like I heard Japan, they train their house down like all the time. Is it much different in France?
It's a lot different here in France. The way we train is a lot definitely different to Japan, but a lot more similar to New Zealand. But
Mm.
we have a lot more unit training, so a lot more line outs, mauls, set piece, and then we get into like team plays. But I think we spend a lot more time in our units with forwards and backs than we do as a team. But
Yeah.
I think it works for our game here. They play. We here at Toulouse, we play a lot of conditioning games and just the skills, playing what's in front of you. And I think that's the French game as well. They're so instinctive with the way they play,
Mm.
and their skills are honestly, some of the talent they have here in France. They could be the best team in the world pretty soon if they keep going the way they are, because they've got such young kids coming through with some crazy skills. So I think it's a little bit similar to New Zealand, but a lot more set piece focused.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to be dual World Cup at some point, man. Like, they're just too good. A little bit hot gold, but bro, quick questions from followers, man. And Ezra did come through with the first one. He said, if you could play for another Super Rugby franchise, who would it be?
If I could play for another Super Rugby franchise, it'd have to be the Chiefs, because I grew up in sorry Hurricane supporters. It'd have to be the Chiefs, because I grew up in the Counties region, so I was halfway between the Blues and Chiefs. So a lot of my childhood legends were from either the Chiefs or the Blues that I got to see. Growing up in Papakura, we had like Jim Coe, who's from not far from Papakura. Kola Takino, I'm not too sure if you remember, number 8.
Yeah,
And then obviously Jonah, Bindiri. So a lot of those guys were from around the Counties, Chiefs, Blues region. So if it wasn't the Blues, it'd be the Chiefs.
all good. I know Benny Martin's watching there. He'll love that. Did you get any offers to move franchise while you were here?
No, it was always always the Blues. But coming back from Japan, I was really close to going to the Chiefs, but that didn't go through. Obviously, with my relationship with Liam, because the Blues were quite full at that time, and then we just happened to make it. We made it happen to go back to the Blues, and which was good to be home.
Nice. Hack come through saying we lost to England last year in the World Cup. He said that we didn't have a Kaino presence. What was your take on that semi, bro? Like, were England too fast, or should we have put Bodie back at 10 and just normal team, or what were your thoughts after that game?
I just think England played the perfect game. It was just their day. You saw periods in their game where the classic All Blacks were slowly feeling their way back into the test, and then normally the All Blacks would grind their way back into the game and usually win it. But I think England just played the perfect game on the perfect day. I don't think I think they just got too much confidence early on and held off. But I think they've been studying the All Blacks for a very long time and they've been waiting for that day. So I just think it was England's day. I don't think the All Blacks were missing anything. I don't think there wasn't anything that they lacked. I think it was just England just played every single facet of their game perfectly. And people that are saying that they missed a dominant number 6, I think Artie was holding it down during that World Cup, and I think that loose forward trio played. They complemented each other. They played perfectly, but in that semi, I just think England were just too good, and you have to give it up to them. But if we were to meet again, I think the All Blacks would have learned a lot from that semi-final, and they'll get their payback.
Completely agree. Our resident Pommy, Archie, come through and asked if it's a Blues year, kind of a in-conference competition here in New Zealand. They were looking quite good, I guess, prior. What are your thoughts on the Blues this year?
Watching from France is I can sense a good vibe coming out of the Blues Blues environment. I don't want to put any pressure on the boys or anything, but yeah, they've got something good going on there. I was lucky enough to visit their captain's round while I was back in New Zealand in January, and they all seem to have a good team culture going and got something good. So hopefully, I'll always be supporting them regardless. But I definitely feel like something good's happening over there, and hopefully we can give the rest of the Super Rugby teams in New Zealand a good run this year.
For sure. Bro, Mark Stafford come through of Sky TV and the TAB there. He asked, bro, how much potential do you see in Akira?
Man, he's a freak. I see a lot of potential in him. I'd love for him to get a crack in the All Black environment and to learn and absorb a lot of information, because he's got a lot of raw talent, and whenever a forward is running around with the outside backs and beating majority of them, and you see what he does when he does get an opportunity within the Blues, he's crazy, man. And I'd love for him to be in that environment to hopefully hone his skills, and when he gets the chance to just explode. And I see so much potential in him. He's one of the most naturally gifted players that I've ever been lucky enough to play with, and I hope he does get back out there on the field and does his thing.
Yeah, I felt like this was going to be his year too. But, bro, this is a funny one. Christian Rathwell come through asking, has anyone ever told you that they named their kid after you? And he's asking on behalf of his son, Kaino Rathwell.
I haven't. I've heard a few dogs have been named after my last name, like Kaino. But just recently, one of my mates in Melbourne, Leo, he just told me that he named his son after me. But yeah, no, it's awesome when you hear those kind of stories. It's pretty cool. But
awesome.
Shout out to Kaino Rathwell.
My brother sent through a message, said he'd done the Jerome Kaino circuit. He sent me a picture of it, and it was like 50 burpees, 50 freaking all these other things. Is that something you put out regularly, just a cheeky workout for people to do?
No, it was an initiative from our trainer at the Blues, Jace, and whenever you play 100 games for the Blues, he'd put out a workout named after you. And we'd had a couple of meetings, and so usually you put your strengths out there on a workout, because you have to do it yourself before everyone else does it. So he asked me what exercises I like, and I told him I don't like any of the exercises. Well, I asked him if my workout could be like a recovery session, like in the hot bath and then cold bath, and he was like, no. and so he asked me what exercises I don't like. So I said burpees, bear crawls. So he decided to put the exercises I don't like in my workout, and then once he come up with it, I had to do it first, and I think I still got probably one of the worst times out of most of the blues boys that have done it. So it's good to have a painful workout named after you, but the worst thing is that you have to keep doing
Yeah. Nice, thanks for that. But we always play a start bench drop with whoever comes on. And I figured we'll use our Petone All Blacks. So if you could start bench or drop, Tana, Naser or Powell, what would you go with?
So I had to start bench and drop one of.
Yep. Yeah.
Start Tana, bench Naser, drop Powell.
Oh, unlucky, Powell.
Sorry, unlucky.
Bro, what's a Jerome Kaino cheat meal? What's your favorite cheat meal?
Oh man, so many. That's the taro and coconut cream, chop suey, and luau.
Oh man,
Yeah,
so good.
that combo.
Yeah.
Or if you've been to Auckland, it's not there anymore, but Mercury Plaza, there's a wonton noodle soup, roast pork wonton noodle soup. If it ever comes back up, that's a lot of people in the rugby circles will know Mercury Plaza. So roast pork wonton noodle soup, that goes down pretty good.
Nice. Pre-game music? Are you a music guy before playing?
Yeah, I'm into anything. Reggae, hip hop, country music even. So I listen to all sorts of things, just depends how I'm feeling. But yeah, whatever's going, bit of Samoan music as well. So yeah.
Man, I'm so thankful you said that. Eh? All these drum and bass guys just do my head in. Country music as well, good man.
Yeah.
Bro, you got any traditions or superstitions before you strap up? Any quirks?
No, not really. But there's only one thing that I always do before a game is that I write Philippians 4:13 on my wrist, and mum and dad and my wife and kids' names on my wrist. That's one thing that I always do. Apart from that, I'm not really superstitious, so it's just enjoy game day and go out there and enjoy yourself.
Nice. Bro, a few more questions just to finish. I think it might have been your partner come through the Kaino tribe.
Oh, no.
She said, "What's for breakfast?" If you haven't already cooked your breakfast, and she asked how she can get you to wear socks, bro.
To wear socks,
bro. A couple of people messaged through about your feet, eh?
No, man, got the normal Samoan flat feet, always wearing sandals, even in the winter. So can't complain how my feet turn out. But in terms of breakfast, I think it's fresh air, coffee.
Yeah. Bro, Coach Collier come through saying, who's made the biggest impact on you or in your career?
Who's made the biggest impact? Player, I would say Kevin Bellin. Just because I've always been involved with him throughout Auckland Blues and lucky enough the All Blacks. But there were some tough times there where I wasn't getting selected and I wasn't playing really well. And Kevy would always be one of the ones that would always be in my ear about just making sure that I'm improving every day or making sure I'm okay. Yeah, just the little things. And I think Kevy would he'd be the one that a lot of the younger island boys would always be leaning to whenever they needed advice about improving themselves, being a better player. So for me, it was Kevy would be the one that I'd go to. So definitely.
Shout out to Kev. Everyone says good things about him, mate. What a dude. Bro,
Yeah.
toughest person that you've run into?
Like played against.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a couple.
Is it? Yeah. Anyone
Yeah,
ever got you good and you're like, oh, not right. That was a bit
yeah.
hard.
I remember the game. I think it was Tanner's 100th game at Eden Park.
Yeah.
I ran into JC, but it was like a double tackle. I ran into JC. JC got me good. Half knocked me out, and then Chris Marsoya came into the rib and finished me off. So I remember just being stopped on my tracks from JC, and then after that, you try and do everything possible to try and avoid him. But I remember that vividly. Definitely, JC would be one of the hardest guys that I've ever run into. But non-New Zealander, probably Thierry Dussetois.
Yeah.
Because he's just relentless. He'd hit you, and then the next 10 tackles after that would be just as hard. So he'd be one of the toughest guys. But the hardest hit would be JC.
Awesome. Last question here for you, brother, is kind of what does life after footy look like for you? Have you kind of maybe started planning for it, or just worry about that later when you get there? Business or coaching?
Oh yeah. Me and my wife have been slowly planning. Actually, getting quite excited about it. But for me, I've still got this season to go in Toulouse, and there are a few options over here that maybe coaching, but we'd have to have a family discussion about a few of the options, because being a long way from home, and the kids would have to make a decision whether they want to settle here or move back home. So there's a lot of things that we need to figure out. But I'm kind of ready. The the mind wants to keep playing, but the body's probably telling me other things. But no, I'm getting excited for that next phase and that next journey, and whether it be back home or here in France. So I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, bro. Well, I reckon you still got another 5-6 years, mate. And yeah,
I wish. No way.
Bro, but I've taken up 45 minutes of your time, bro. But I really appreciate you coming on.
Privilege.
It's mad kind of getting you guys on our small page and talking footy. But the thing I like the most, bro, is all the insights that gets discussed and things that fans and people aren't aware of. So appreciate you sharing your journey with us and giving us your time as well, brother. I wish you all the best moving forward as well.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
We'll catch up soon, eh? Take care.
Yeah. Have fun. Bye.
See you, brother.